Hey, everybody. So, what I want to talk about tonight is something that I'm seeing everywhere. And it's this idea of like spiritual people are supposed to be broke, or they're supposed to do everything for free. They're supposed to give, and basically people are supposed to be able to take from them. Basically while they give to people who are not spiritual. And this is what, there's a lot of insight that is necessary when it comes to this topic. Okay, because when we think that it is spiritual, when we look at people who are quote unquote spiritual, who are doing good work in the world, and we think that they're supposed to just do that work for free, they're supposed to be giving, right? Which would make us the takers. So these are the people that basically we're saying we should be taking from, not giving to. And what we don't realize is that is how you create a world where all of the power is in the hands of the people who won't really give a fuck about you. See, you have to understand that the world you live in, you create. And so people have this belief system, right? And they go around doing this. They don't want to give their money to the people who are doing the things that benefit them. They want those people to give that to them for free, or they don't honor them as spiritual. And they turn around and give all of their money and support. Because see, you got to understand, money is energy. It's called currency for a reason. It carries an energetic current. Okay, so where you take your money, you are injecting energy into that. So when you inject energy into things that don't support you, and then you wonder why, and then you have all these people going around complaining about a world where all of these people have all of this money and they don't care about us, and they're doing this, and the 1%. Listen, you can't complain. You created that. You created that. You create the world you live in. That's what you have to understand. The world is not doing anything to you. You create it with your energy. Your energy is powerful. Your money is powerful because it's a current, not because the paper itself is valuable. See, as above, so below. Everything that you see in this reality has a spiritual component on the back end. Even the most physical things, the things that you consider to be the most worldly, they cannot exist without a spiritual backing. Be that spiritual backing, be quote unquote good or evil. It doesn't matter. It's going to have a spiritual backing. Okay, so what exists in the physical reality has a spiritual existence as well. And there's a spiritual existence to money. So when you take your money and your current, and you don't have a problem when you say that spiritual people are supposed to be doing things for free. Basically what you're saying is we should only have to pay non-spiritual people. See, people don't think about this. This is crazy thinking. This is ridiculous, because if that's the case, you deserve a world where people take your money and don't give a damn about you, because that's who you think should have the money. You think when you say that spiritual people are not the people that you should be giving your money to, people are real tight when it comes to wanting to give to spiritual people, or wanting to give to people that are benefiting them. But they'll turn around and give their money easily to something that does not benefit them. So then you end up with a world where, guess what? All of the money is going to be in the hands of the people who care less about you. But that's the way you wanted it. So we have to get out of this thinking, because think about it. If you were giving the money to the things that benefited you, the things that you wanted to see in the world, then that's the world you would have. You would have spiritual people having money means that spiritual people have power. Why does money have power? Because of the current. You're injecting a lot of current into that business, into that person. So then they have power now to make decisions and do things and create things in the world. So basically you're saying the spiritual people should have no power to create, no power to make certain things come into existence in this reality. And if they're spiritual based, what they're going to be thinking about is going to be different from people who are not necessarily operating from that space, who are most certainly thinking about what they want. They're not thinking about the betterment of everyone. They're thinking about just what's important to them, which we all are, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Everybody should be thinking about what's important to them. The point that I'm making is, if You have to think about what's important to you. And then you give your money based on what is important to you. Is it important to you that more spiritual people are making decisions? Because, see, there's a dichotomy between what people say they want and what they do. Because when you say you want a world where people care about you, why do you put all of your power into the hands of people who don't? And then you actually think that there's something spiritual and there's some type of virtue in the spiritual people having no power and no money, which they can have spiritual power, but what I'm saying is money is power. So they're not supposed to have access to that. So then they're going to be trumped by people who don't have that. That's not what they care about. So then look at people who care about what you care about. If you feel like you want people to have money that care about other people, then that's what you support. Put your energy there. You have to understand you are feeding this world. Everything you see in existence, you have to feed it. Anything that you don't give attention to goes away. Look, stop giving your money to McDonald's. And guess what? You will deprive it of energy and it will die. It will be no more. Anything that you take money from, it will be no more. And then when people say, well, there's not enough spiritual people giving all of the information out for free and well, what happens to the people that do that for free? I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? And I'm going to tell you from experience. The more you make yourself available to do things for free, the more people want to take advantage of it. People don't want to support that. When you're doing something out of the kindness of your heart, because you care, you're like, I want people to get this. I want them to get it so much that I'm going to put information that's extremely valuable out there and I'm not going to charge them for it. Well, guess what? Do you think that they're going to support that? Like, you know what? There's a lot of energy that's being given out, a lot of beneficial things. Let me support this. No, they don't do that on their own. So that's why you've created a world where people charge you for everything. They want to charge you for everything. They don't want to give you anything. And then people will say, well, it's only because they're selfish and they're this. No. You have to remember, you're creating that world. People are giving a response to you. So when you have somebody that's out there doing that, guess what? They do it less. Eventually, that person gets tired. And they're like, you know what? I'm not finna be putting out all this energy. People don't even, they don't keep it alive. See, just like if you starve McDonald's, it'll go away. Starve spiritual people, they'll go away. To a certain degree. Because it's their passion and it's what they care about, they'll still do it, but it's going to be a lot less frequently. Because you have to understand, it's about energy. This is not, when you try to make it like it's a spiritual thing, it's an energy thing. Okay, what energy are you feeding into that? Whatever you don't feed energy into disappears. Whether it be that you have to feed your energy into it with your focus, with you sharing it, with you supporting it. You can feed energy that way, showing love. And you can feed energy with money. So many people do not feed energy into the things that matter to them. Those are the things they feed no energy into. But the things they claim they don't want to see in the world, that's where they're feeding energy. So then when a story comes up of something tragic, right? Some murder happening, something that we don't want to see in the world, police brutality, or something else that we want to die. Well, we don't starve that. That's the stuff we'll share. We'll share that everywhere. But the stuff that fed our souls, are we sharing that? Because that's more of what we say we want to see. See, we created this world by operating backwards. And then we look at the world and say, this world operates backwards. No, we operate backwards. As much as people think that the 1% control the world, it is the 99% that control the world. Because they dictate who the 1% will be. They dictate what is going to be fed energy and given power. See, everything you see in power, it is your power that fed it. As a collective group, you gave it power. So how can you complain about the 1%'s power that you gave it? See, I don't make a big issue. I'm talking about these things because this is the things I hear. And this is where a lot of people's energy and focus is going into. And that's what I do. I try to bring clarity and insight into these areas that concern you. I live in a space where I'm unbothered. Okay, it's not bothering me, the 1% having all the money. That I don't feel no ways about none of it, because I understand how all of this works. That's what you chose. All the money they got, you gave it. Why'd you do that? And see, the same thing, then people would turn around and say, give your money and your power and your energy into what you want to live. What do you want to grow? What do you want? How do you want this world to be? What do you want to see? Create it. You have to understand your power. Stop acting like you're powerless and these people are just gaining power. Even celebrities, it is you that are elevating them to that platform. Your regular ass. You think you regular. You think you just one person in a bunch. It's all your regular asses. While you thinking that you so regular and ain't nobody, and your power, people are just having power over you, and the world is being manifested the way that it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's a damn lie. It's your power that is feeding all of this. A celebrity can't be a celebrity until you say they're a celebrity. How do you say that? You feed them all that energy. You share their stuff. You talk about them. You put them in the limelight. You make them big. There's nobody in this world that can be anything without all of you. You decide who gets elevated and who gets demoted, who disappears, who becomes a one-hit wonder, who fades into the darkness, never to be heard from again. Somebody mention their name, I'm gonna say, who? Well, I don't even know who that is. You decide that. Start living in power. Understand that your decisions are power. Who do you want to support? What do you want to support? What do you want to see more of? What do you want to starve? What do you want to go away? Don't feed it your energy. See, every single one of you, this is why in religion they say things like you are created in the image of God, because there's power in you. There is power in you. You get to decide. Nobody can be anything but what you make them. Nobody can have more money than what you decide they can have. See, enough of you have to decide it. Enough of you have to stand up and say, no, this is what we're going to support. These are the people who are going to have the power. These are the people who are going to have the money. These are the people. And you decide that. By where you put your money, where you put your energy, who you sharing, who you supporting, who you rooting for in your day-to-day life, beyond going to a goddamn poll and voting. See, you think that's the only power you have? So everybody feels powerful when it comes time to go to a damn poll and tap a ballot. Your power extends far beyond that. When you go and you put your money where people are feeding you food that's poisoning you, you say, we want more poison. That's just the way it is. And if enough of you decided to support what you want to see in the world, you'd have more of it. You got to get out of this backwards thinking of wanting spiritual people to be poor. Basically, this is what you're saying. We should be able to take from the spiritual people, and they should be giving and feeding us energy while we give them nothing. And we should give our energy to the people who don't give a damn about us or this planet, the environment, the animals. They just give a fuck about themselves and what they want and their own desires. And that's who should take from us. You spiritual and you trying to take from me? No, I shouldn't be giving nothing to you. I don't care how much you give to me. I'm supposed to be giving to where don't nobody give a damn about me. You see how that is? Because that's the truth of what you're doing. That's the truth of what you're doing. When you say that spiritual people are supposed to be out here working for free and giving you all their energy, while you give your energy to everything that's against everything you say you stand for. You the ones acting like you stand for something spiritual. And then you'll turn around and say spiritual people supposed to be the ones you taking from. You got to get in alignment with your own, with your own self and your own hypocrisy. Because you basically saying the spiritual people shouldn't have that power. They're not the ones who should have the money. Now imagine if you were feeding that into more of the people that were giving out the things in the world that you wanted to see. Guess what? They'd have more money to give out more of that on a bigger scale. Because they have different desires. See, those are the people who have desires for conscious schools. Schools that, children can be brought up to be connected to themselves, to harness their own power, to know who they are. A real education. Okay? Because education today is basically what you can memorize. You don't have to be smart to do good in school. You just got to have a good memory. A good memory will get you far. But what I'm talking about is schools that raise children to be so thoroughly connected to themselves that they offer the gift that they're here to give to this world. Do you realize that every person here has a gift? See, the world wouldn't need to be micromanaged the way that it has to be micromanaged if people were being programmed to be connected to themselves and to be connected to the universe where they're giving out what they came here to give. It would all happen naturally. See, there would be somebody to fill every role. Why? Because everybody's gift is different. See, you think if you don't dictate to people and deal with them like puppets and run a structure where they have to be completely told everything, and it has to be so structured and orderly or it's just going to be chaos. It doesn't have to be that way. But it starts with the children and the way that they're being educated. Because when you're connected to yourself, there is no real harm that you truly want to do in the world. See, that's coming from all the other stuff. But that's a whole other thing I could talk about for an hour by itself. I'm getting ahead of myself and off topic. But what I'm saying is think about what you support and understand that this is the world you created. Stop complaining about it and change where you put your power and what you support. Support what you want to see more of. Starve what you don't. That goes for things in the news, on TV. That goes for the kind of food you want to eat. That goes for the people you want to have power. The people you feel that think in a way that's a bit more beneficial. That move in a way that is more beneficial. That care about you. But see, people don't love themselves enough. They don't love themselves enough to support what loves them. So guess what ends up happening to spiritual people? You end up loving a bunch of people who want to go off and give everything they got to people who don't give nothing, don't care about them at all. And then all the dreams and things that you want to bring into the world, you're struggling to have the money to do it. You sit up and think about, oh man, you got people, spiritual people that look at, man, when you look at what's really going on, in the prisons, and I'm talking about people who really understand spiritual stuff. It's not as many of those. And you look at what's going on in the prisons, you look at what's going on in the school system and what's happening to the children and where they're being disconnected from themselves and things like that. And there's people that want to go into those spaces and change that. There's people that want to put certain things out, but you have to understand it's energy involved. The more energy you give them, the more energy they got. But the more you starve them of energy, the less energy they're going to have to go forth with. You're feeding everything that you see. Everything you see in the world, that's your energy. When you look at Cardi B and, all of these different celebrities, Beyonce, which I don't have nothing to say about nobody. I'm just saying, that's your energy up there. That's your energy. That's your power that makes them who they are. You can make anybody who you want them to be. Share them enough and support them enough, and you will give them a platform. So that's something to think about. Really get out of this mentality that your spiritual people and the best people in the world are the people who you take from, that you don't give to. Come on now. And if you're going to have that mentality, you can have that mentality. Keep the mentality that spiritual people are not people. They shouldn't charge you for nothing. They shouldn't want nothing from you. You ain't supposed to give them nothing. Keep that mentality. You are entitled to whatever belief you want. But at the same time, quit complaining about the people taking from you and using you and ain't giving you nothing. Well, why is you complaining? That's what you want. The people who love you and show you love, what you give them. I don't know how many times I've had people, because I give a lot. A lot of the stuff I gave, you can go out and pay somebody, $300 for a program that won't take you where my YouTube channel will take you for free. Now, even after all of that, I'll get somebody who will pay to work with me, and then they don't want to pay me for my extra time. They don't want to pay me. Come on, I'm not the one. Because I know right from wrong. I don't care how confused you are about it. You can't confuse me about my spirituality, about my heart, about my position in where I'm supposed to be. You can't confuse me because you confused. If you think that, and when you think you ain't supposed to support me as much as I give, you ain't confusing me. You just gonna walk away confused by your damn self. You're not gonna have me feeling no type of way, because I know what it is. I know my heart, my intentions, and I know what I give. I know the impact of the work that I do. I give enough for free, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's people that'll charge you and won't give you as much as I have. Okay, so whatever I'm charging for, it goes right along with what you can get out of it. And if you tax that onto everything else that you got from me for free, you can't never feel like I'm ripping you off. Never. So I just had to say that, because I hear it said all the time. People talking about it. I watched another spiritual teacher, going through that. On his channel, and people feeling like, he's not supposed to charge for nothing, and he's hindering himself really by trying not to, trying to appease that. And I'm gonna tell you, spiritual people, stop appeasing that shit. Stop letting people tell you that you are here for them to take from you while they go and give to everybody who want to use and abuse them, and then they want to complain about it. No, go get used and abused if that's what you choose to do, and be happy about it. If you're going to make that choice, if you're going to say that you don't want to give the spiritual people, you want to give the people who don't care about you, do that, and do it happily. But how you going to turn around and complain about these major companies, and the 1% ain't doing this for you, and all these corporations ain't doing this for you, and they sitting there with all your money and everything you done gave them and all the ways you done built them up, and while you starved starved other people and other businesses that was doing more, that would have been more good for you. Who fault is that? How they get to be the 1%? And that's we can go deeper into that. But that's just something to think about. I felt that insight was needed. I hope that you guys are having a happy holiday time. I know that it's a lot of family time, going on. So I hope you guys are enjoying your family, your loved ones, and all that good stuff, whatever you're doing. I love you guys. I hope you found that beneficial, and I will talk to you later. Bye.